I get comments or emails on a pretty regular basis because, yes, I do read my emails. I read every one of my emails myself. I read every one of my messages myself. And I read every one of the comments. And when I have time, I always try to reply if it's a question or like the comment, because a lot of the comments are really good. I try to keep my interaction level high. This is why. If you're going to offer information or assistance to people, then you should be available. I know from my personal experience that in the past, when it came down to before the internet, you would most likely never get a response, even if you mailed a letter to the author. Most likely you would never hear anything. And if it was, it might be months or years. I myself have worked with people on their channels, interviewed with them and that sort of thing. And I personally can't get responses from them. And I've worked with them. So I know how it must be for people that are subscribers or followers on their channel. Wow, okay. That shows a real lack of respect or disrespect to me. Because if you're offering something for people and they are interested or they have questions, why can't you take the fucking time to just answer a question? Now, I've told people several times I don't have time, I don't have the physical time to always do a video. I can't do a video conference with everybody. Right now, I just do the video conference with people that that do interviews, or when I do a live show. But I just don't have the time for that. That's because usually what happens is people are in different time zones, so it really kind of throws everything off. Plus, I have to work, so that also gets in the way. But my point is, I get a lot of comments or emails that says, hey, you're kind of like this person, you're kind of like this person, or you should talk to this person, or whatever, or trying to compare me. And I'm like, there's not a lot of comparison in most ways, because first of all, I'm not on the astral, they are. And the second thing is, you ever try to get a response from one of them? If you're not paying them, if you're not signing up for their $300 or $150 an hour service, you're most likely never going to hear from them. What's that tell you? That doesn't tell you that they're too busy to make a comment. That tells you that they're in it for the money. That's an important part of what you really need to look at. If people are not going to respond to you on their channel, unless you're giving them money in some way, that tells you something. I understand people with maybe millions of subscribers or views, they can't get to every single comment, but they can have people do that or get to the important ones. There's always a way to work things out. But at our level, most likely people aren't going to be in the millions. And even if they are, why can't you make an effort to address that? I think it's bullshit. Most of these excuses are fucking bullshit. You know, I mean, that's what it is. How can you compare people when they're not backing up what they're selling or backing up what they're talking about? There's a lot of people that don't agree with me. That's fine. I'll debate with them. I'll talk with them. You know, I'll offer them my points and I'll listen to their points. Not mad at them or anything. And a lot of times we ended up kind of being in a neutral area. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I take the time to do it. I put forth the effort. I mean, if I don't have a lot of time to spend on it, I will respond to them. And like I said, my emails, I respond to every email. Unless if it doesn't require a response, just say, hey man, I really appreciate it, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's a big thing. To me, it's a big thing. Let me give you an example too. I have a recent example. I read a book years ago, probably 30 years ago. And I read about this this meeting of like minds. Similar to, it's not similar to what I'm doing, but it's on the same kind of level. I've always wanted to go to it. So in the past, I've contacted the author and didn't really get a response. This time I did get a response. It was recently. So he gave me kind of a vague idea. I knew what date it was, and I was told what area it was going to happen in. So I figured, well, it's a couple hour drive. What the hell, If I don't put forth the effort, then, never going to do it. So I spent a whole day driving around trying to locate. I kind of knew what time frame it was going to be. Well, I pretty much spent the whole day just driving and asking people in the area if they knew anything about it. Never was successful. I don't know if he gave me the wrong location or wasn't specific about the location for a reason. Whatever. And I just drove back that night. Just made it a turnaround. Personally, if I wasn't going to give anybody that I was speaking to the location, I would just say, hey, I really don't know. I wouldn't give them some information enough to create a full day of wasting their time. I would just say, I don't know, or I would just tell them. And if I was going to tell people about it, then I wouldn't not give them the information. I'd say, okay, this is exactly, or if I said, I don't have enough information to give you, I'll give it to you, but don't waste your time. No, I was, they gave it to me. I went out there. It is what it is. I made the decision to go out there, so it's no big deal when it comes down to it, but it would have been nice. That's just the way things work out. But that's kind of what I'm talking about. People aren't very good at backing up what they're telling people. And if you're not willing to back your shit up, then don't put it out there.